Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
You've just joined the Prepper Broadcasting Network, where we promote self-reliance and independence. The views and opinions expressed are strictly those of the host or their guests. Visit us in the interactive chat room at prepperbroadcasting.com.
Good evening, everyone. If you're a prepper, you're in the right place at the right time. This is the Prepping Academy, skirting the globe through miles of fiber optic cable at nearly the speed of light directly to you, with your hosts, Forrest and Kyle. Coming to you from the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, the information you get from the show could save your life. Whether you're a veteran, beginning prepper, or just curious, there is something here meant for you.
Dang right, something's here meant for you. Hey, welcome to the Prepping Academy. I'm Forrest, and this is, oh wait, it's not Kyle.
No.
You're not Kyle.
No, I'm not.
This is Tenderfoot.
Tenderfoot.
Yeah.
Everybody's loving the name.
Tenderfoot. Who's loving that name? Your wife or kids or who?
No, that is what I'm known by now. And it's so
Tenderfoot.
great.
That is
And then I thought of 100 other names after that.
Okay. Oh, so he's going by his Appalachian Trail name. Mine is Killer. No, I don't know. I don't have a name. I've complained about that for 4 years. Well, and I don't want a name either because my friends would give me the worst name ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do not.
Well, I guess that's what they did to me. But
Tenderfoot. That's because you got a blister on your foot, right?
Because I got a blister on my foot. That's
Yeah.
Nothing else to it.
Nothing else. Yeah. There's a story behind the story. So how was your week?
Yeah, it was good.
Busy?
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, you got a lot of things going on like me, just a ton.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready for prepper camp.
We are. That's right.
Yep. We'll talk about that a little bit. Hey, and my dog's trapped in our room. That's great. He doesn't speak a lot, though. Hey, guys, if you're just joining us on Blog Talk Radio, switch over to Prepper Broadcasting Network. We are live there. We have an interactive chat room, so you can just switch right over. Prepperbroadcasting.com is the URL. Prepperbroadcasting.com. Just go ahead and leave Blog Talk Radio. Prepper Broadcasting's right there. There's a chat room right in the middle of the page. You can join us, and you can listen to our very mediocre. Well, it's going to be great tonight, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's great
Anytime.
tonight. Tenderfoot's here, so so the first thing we want to bring up is today is a very special day. It is September 11th.
Yep.
16 years. 16 years ago, I was in the YMCA getting ready to leave from working out. I know that right there might be funny. I know this is serious, but some of you may laugh that I was actually at the Y working out, but that's not the point of this. The point is I was standing there, and we were getting ready to walk out, and we see this happen. They break the news open, and that's where I first learned of it. And it was kind of weird, and we just stayed there and watched. They had a lobby, and we watched for a good hour and a half, 2 hours before we even left.
Wow. And
so where were you when this happened?
I had just returned from Florida, funny enough here, doing a Helo Dunker school, and was getting yelled at by Navy SEALs. And so I was laying on someone's couch because I didn't have a place yet. I was in the Navy.
Uh-huh.
And woke up. I was into stocks then, so I was watching like CNN stock market, whatever that, and that's when I saw it. Mm-hmm. And then I got the phone call, and then I deployed.
Wow!
Like just in a few days.
Wow. Well, it's a lot of people. It's a sad day in America. A lot of people say there are a lot of conspiracy theories about it as well.
Yeah.
And I've watched them, and I just I just choose not to make a decision on how I feel about it. Because people did die.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of there are people that want to research and find out who actually did it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them on this one. I'm just not. Just too many people passed away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I saw some videos today. Just others just watching these videos and stuff about those conspiracy theories and everything. And I'm like, look, I think you just going for the wrong idea. With that. You want to fight over that.
I just don't choose to.
Yeah.
If Kyle was here.
Yeah.
He would be telling us how the Nazis from that were actually created in 2000 BC funded dude, he's got conspiracy theories up yin yang. But we do want to remember the people that died and passed, a lot of first responders, and it's just a good day to remember what has happened to America. It's history. We don't want history to change. We fight for that all the time as conservatives.
Yeah.
Let's don't change history. History is what it is. We can learn from it and improve and do better, not repeat it, unless it's good.
Yes.
But anyway, so anything you want to add to that?
No, but I do think it kind of falls in line with a little bit of what we're going to talk about today, even how to prep in situations where you're going to be, in those situations.
Right. So if the crap hits the fan, you're on the road. There are ways to be prepared.
Right.
Maybe not fully prepared, but there are some interesting ideas that we have, and there's also an organization I'm going to bring up that also could be helpful as well. So tonight's subject is, traveling as a prepper. I mean, you can label it whatever you use. Just you going somewhere as a prepper. How do you be prepared? There's a lot of intel you got to get before you go. We're going to talk through all that. And we both have a lot of experience. We're both in the military. We've traveled a lot.
Yeah.
You've traveled to third world countries.
Yes.
And you've been in countries and, in a sense, as missionary trips.
Yes.
Where it's kind of almost covert.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yes. Great conversation there.
I really can't say too much.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. We won't go across the line. But I do, that's some of the things we're going to talk about tonight. But first I want to mention our sponsor. It's Retreat Realty.
All right.
Go to retreatrealty.com. It's John there. If you're looking for a retreat or a house or any property in the mountains of North Carolina, he is your man, retreatrealty.com. He's a great guy and a very good friend of the Carolina Preppers Network and the Prepping Academy. So I want to give him a shout out. Tell him we sent you. Okay, traveling. So we don't need to discuss what country you went to, or can we say that? Your last trip.
Well, yeah, you can say.
Okay, so you went to China.
Yeah.
On a mission trip. Possibly. Telling people about how to prep.
That's it.
That
was my mission.
But when you travel, anytime you travel, one of the first things you got to do is where am I going? Right? I mean, you got to start with there, but you got to do some intel and some research. Because if you would pack different going to China than if you're going to Texas.
Yes.
Or, California. Even if you go to California or New York, you're going to pack different if you're going to Mississippi.
Yeah. Because
of some handgun laws and things.
Right.
So we're going to talk through that and some things you got to carry and things you got to just think about. And one of the first things I put down, and then you can, is that no matter where you go, you first got to understand the environment you're going in. So if you're going to China, you still want to be a gray man in China. Now, how is that possible for an American walking down the street with a backpack on his back? I mean, how is that possible to be a gray man in all environments? Because it takes research. But go.
Well, I mean, first of all, you got to keep in mind we live in this world where traveling exists, and so they expect to see people of all different ethnic backgrounds wherever they live, and so go as a tourist.
Right.
And
okay.
And that's what you're there for. Hide behind a camera. It's not uncommon. There are some countries, China, I think being one. They can confiscate your camera at any moment and look at. This is not America, so they can look at your stuff and everything like that. So take that in consideration. So if you are taking photos, how are you going to transfer your photos over to, to camera or whatever? There might be all kinds of things you have to consider. But just go and be a tourist. Be amongst the people there. Don't
getting the map out with the binoculars and camera.
Sure.
Your flower shirt kind of thing.
Well, you don't want to bring attention to yourself. They even told me that in the military, right? So you definitely don't want them to know that you were in the military. You got the buzz cut and everything. You couldn't avoid that. But, don't have the stickers. Don't have the patches. Don't be in uniform. And watch your routines. Because it's so easy for us to get in a routine. They say don't have a routine.
Right,
Don't be stuck in doing the same thing. And so be aware of that.
But so one of the first things you got to do, and this is because every trip is different. You got to prepare yourself and your attire and what you're carrying to the place you're going. And so if you dress in a Hawaiian shirt and you go and you're in Beijing, China, with a camera and binoculars, I mean, you're going to look like a major tourist. I mean, you're going to bring attraction to yourself.
You don't want to go that low.
Yeah. So you want to put long black hair on? No, you don't want to disguise yourself at all?
You don't need to disguise yourself. Now, they do take photos of you. Some countries do. Well, no, I guess they all do now. Because even in the U.S., when I came back, and they even took photos of me again. And so, and like in China, they're going to have cameras everywhere. And some other countries, Europe and stuff, there's the CCTV.
Oh, yeah, you think America has cameras. Go to England. They watch everything. Yeah. Every license tag is recorded on every road. It's crazy. Yeah. So first thing, I think a big one is study the location you're going in, the rules and the laws as well. I don't care if that's stateside or overseas. Yeah. Because if you take your gun and you're going to Connecticut or Canada, and you get stopped in New York and you have a gun, that's going to be a very bad day for you. And so next is you need to determine if you're going to like a city or a rural area and what you wear.
Well, and honestly, you're going to be doing both.
Okay.
Right? You're going to fly into a city.
And
so then how you're going to travel. But then you got to take that into consideration, how you're going to travel and then how you're going to get around.
So in traveling, I mean, if you fly, you're limited on what you can carry. Even in your not only your carry-on, but also your, what do they call that? The not carry-on, but check-in baggage. There's just some things you can't carry. Now people, and if you drive, there's some things you just can't carry. It's just plain and simple. You just can't carry a gun in some states.
Yeah, and you'll have police stops and everything like that. Different countries, I've seen that. And you don't know what you're going to run into.
Right.
And, so you do want to try to, and it's very easy, honestly. I have found you can always find that friendly person, if you're going in there completely not knowing anyone, you can find people that do know your language, that will help you and everything. It's at least I've had that experience.
But we're traveling, though, as a prepper.
Yes.
Someone that wants to be prepared for everything. How do you do that going into China or going into another foreign country, North Korea?
Well,
okay, maybe not North Korea.
Not North Korea, yeah. But hey, Dennis Rodman, But no, the number one thing I wrote, the number one prep goes back to skills, and I say something that we don't think about is our people skills. Take that with you. You're not going. It's not America. Check that mindset at the door and be aware where you are and be respectful of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, nonetheless, wherever they go, they may have high regard for Americans or America or whatever, but they still have their pride for their country and stuff like that. So you got to be considerate, and you want to be able to have someone on your side, not
right.
You don't want to create anything.
And it's the same for stateside. I know you're talking more about overseas. The state, when you go to another state, they hear my accent. They know I'm not from California,
right.
or when I go to Seattle, they understand. We're a little bit more mixed in the United States, but you still got to try to blend in and try to not, don't be a jerk. No matter where you go, just don't be a jerk. That can save your life.
Yes. Yeah.
That's number one rule. Don't be a jerk.
That's right.
And my wife calls me a jerk. No, I'm kidding.
But, this was the way I went is I always try to go, haven't had a problem yet, taking my paracord bracelet
mm-hmm.
and everything, some way to be able to build a fire. I actually go to the mindset of survival to get to where I need to get.
Right.
I can't carry my preps. I can't carry, depending on where you go, you can't carry weapons or whatever. But so I try to take that mindset. I make sure I got a water filter. I yet have a problem carrying that with me. These things that you can, so you can eliminate certain things. That's what you can carry with you. That's what you want to have on you. And then when you get there to wherever you are, then hey, I can go to a store to buy a knife.
Right.
If I can go whatever, if you need that, if you're going to be in some shady situations, then make sure that you're equipped with that. But you can do that there. And then you have to get rid of it coming back over. So be prepared for that.
So I put down some things. You got to know the restrictions of where you're going. And dress and clothing is important. Because if you have to bug out, even if you're in another country, you need some good tennis shoes and you need the proper clothing for that environment.
Yes. And
you can pack that. That's easy. And that's not an alarm system when you could put good hiking shoes in there. And you need to, this isn't always possible, but when I go to Florida or wherever I go, I try to know someone in the area, at least I could call. Yeah. And if I was going to, I'm making this scenario up because let's say I'm going through New York and I'm going up to, I don't know, Pennsylvania. Let's say the Maine, somewhere I can take a gun. And if I'm going through New York and I can't take one, I may arrange one with a friend of mine up there to be able to have one up there if the laws allow me to. So there are ways you can plan to do that. And again, we're preppers, and so everything we do should almost be a plan, at action, like in an event.
Yeah.
And but also you gotta, and then you made a good point. I think you said this at some point. You don't want to tell people you're going somewhere. How many times do we have open homes in our neighborhoods when people go, hey, we're going to the beach. Hey, Here's our photos at the beach. And I'm thinking, they're right next door. Their house is wide open.
Hey, let's take a quick break. Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
There's so much to take into consideration nowadays with the social media and everything. What are you saying? What are you letting others know? That goes, again, that's your OPSET.
Yes.
Not only do you want to know where you're going and that information, but you want to know what information you want out about yourself.
Right. And so if you're going to post photos, delay it 1 week and post them once you're already back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's genius. I just came up with that.
Or don't post them at all.
Or don't post them at all. I don't post a lot. I was at the football game this past weekend, but anyway, I invite people to come. Never mind, I won't say that because then. Hey, I do want to mention, man, we had a Zello meeting tonight with the Carolina Preppers Network, and man, we had a lot of check-ins, but man, that network is just overwhelmed right now, and I think it has to do with everything that's going on with the wildfires. Wildfires out in the West Coast and all the weather in the East Coast, the Southeast. It was difficult, but man, we had a bunch of check-ins. That's going to be a great tool for us to use, and we invited a bunch of them from the Carolina Preppers Network to jump in and listen, and big hopping chat room. So if you're listening right now live, jump in our chat room. There's a bunch of people in there, and they're chatting. I guess that's what you do in the chat room.
Keep it turned away from me. So.
Oh yeah, well you're not allowed to see this yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you're already calling your. Oh no, I will. Who is Jay? I'm gonna. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Tenderfoot. My name is not gonna be Tiny Toes. Dude, see, we get to see that. I don't usually show you that because you can get really distracted by the chat room.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Yeah, everybody thinks it's funny. And then Joe, I'm going to kill Joe.
Tiny Toes. Oh, man.
So anyway, hey guys, we do this every Monday night live on Prepper Broadcasting Network. Then it goes into a podcast, so you can subscribe to our podcast as well, Prepping Academy. Just subscribe, listen every week, and I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about some things that you can pack on a trip.
Okay.
So in stateside, we'll do. I've got a list of like 21 items. Do you have a list too?
Well, mine's not that long. I didn't do it like that. I just wrote significant things down. But.
Okay. Well, why don't you start us out then?
Well, let me see what I have right here. So, like I said, I want to take my paracord, my flint.
Mm-hmm.
I have the laces and stuff like that, like you said, with your hiking boots.
Yep.
And thinking about your clothing that you're going to wear. Now, mine that I like to carry is stuff that's going to be quick drying, that I can wear multiple times, wash, whatever. Right. Now, I'm thinking overseas.
Yep.
I do a lot more travel that way, I guess. And then
I'm thinking stateside.
Yeah.
So.
And so, but that can apply as well. So then, I'm also taking my water filter, and even stateside, you want that.
I always have, and we'll get into this a little bit, but of course, we always take the Sawyer water filter.
That's right. That's what I have.
Okay. Keep going.
Where's my Tinder?
Yeah.
So I'm taking what is it? My Mylar blanket and everything, because I can use that multiple ways to make a shelter to keep myself, whatever. Mm-hmm. You can carry that with you. Never have had a problem carrying that with me.
Right. Yep.
I've dared to try things to go through.
So you can go to jail. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. Just something. All they would do is just
take it out. Yep.
And so sometimes you got to do that. And who knows? You might get some jerk, and no matter what, even if it's okay to take it with you, he might still throw some of the stuff out.
Yep.
But I don't know. I go in the mind of I actually have a little acronym that I do is called SWIFT, and underneath that I have different things. So I always think of my shelter, my water, my fire, and my training, which is my skills.
Uh-huh.
And so under shelter, I think of I said fire, didn't I? Food, rather. But under shelter, I think of what I'm going to do for a fire, protection, clothing, all of that. And then water, how am I going to be able to get water, food, and so forth? Because I can carry so much with me, my food and what food I carry with me, But you don't want to be taking a bunch of this stuff.
Right.
Now, if you're stateside and you're driving, then you can carry a lot.
You can
more.
load up. Oh, yeah.
But my thought, and I think one of the things I brought up to you was I used to ask this question, how am I going to travel on an airplane where I can't carry all this stuff and everything? And then that's where you go into like the training, thinking about your skills, and like I said, your people skills. You want it when you get your feet on the ground, wherever you go, what we just said, and that's when you want to be looking for those other things.
That's the number one. You hit on probably the most important thing about traveling is skills.
Yeah.
Your skills when it comes to survival, street smart skills. I just told you that a friend of ours complimented you in China with some of your street smart skills. How to deal with other people, how to evade if something's going on. Street skills and street smarts and actual skills when it comes to survival is bar none the number one key.
Yeah.
And that takes years to acquire and to practice and of thinking. For an example, we went into a restaurant the other night, and I told my son, I said, I want you, as you go into this restaurant, I want you to think through of maybe an active shooter was to happen. Where should we sit? What should we do? All this kind of stuff. It was funny. 5 minutes into it, he completely forgot about it. But for me, it's something it's like common as I think. I never set my back, my back to the door. I always try to face the door. And it's funny, and I always do that in every restaurant. The problem is when you go out with other preppers, like tomorrow morning I'm going to be eating with some guys, and we all want to be that person, with their back not to the door. And so yeah. It is funny, but so your skills are absolutely number one tops, and that takes a long time.
It is. You've got to have that situational awareness, where you are, your environment, and just always being on alert. I mean, when you're walking, wherever you're walking into, like you just said, even if you're walking onto the airplane, into the airport, and stuff like that. Think of what can you do, what scenario, what can I have, what do I have on me? Here it is, September 11th. What do I have on me? What can I do if I'm caught in that situation?
Right.
And I don't know much about, with September 11th, and I'm sure those guys thought of that, and that was just a horrible, scenario altogether.
I carry an EDC.
Yeah.
I have two EDCs. I have one on my person that I carry, which is my my gun, my knife, my flashlight. I'll tell the world this, but because I'm gonna teach this in one of my classes that I have. So I have a belt now that is a kind of a tactical escape and evade belt is what I think he calls it, where you can actually hide things in the belt. Now, would I go through TSA with this belt on? No, but I can guarantee you that this belt, you can't tell a difference of this belt any other belt. And I have like a handcuff keys. I have all little sort of things. I'm going to teach out at Prepper Camp some of the things I have in there and why I have it in there. But I have a carry-on EDC like a bag as well, where I have a tourniquet and all this other stuff. And I carry that. Do I carry that with me 24/7? No. Is it within walking distance in my car if I'm in a meeting? It's always near me or around me, wherever I go. Yeah. So in the States, but what tools I have in there, you can't take overseas. You just can't.
Yeah.
I have a knife in there. I have scissors in there. I have all this stuff that they wouldn't allow me to have. But so I have a personal EDC, and then I have a carry EDC, a backpack.
Yeah.
But that's the way I roll. It's not my bug out bag.
Yeah.
But it is a EDC, and I could take that and at least live 3 days off of it.
And with what you have, you know how to use it in multiple ways.
Yes.
So your paracord.
Right.
And this is my challenge to everyone who's listening. Know how to use that in multiple ways. Can you, do you know what to do with your rope, with your cord? Can you make a stretcher? Can you make a way for yourself to get out? So I also carry things in addition to, because I know how to make different things with them. So I always have my carabiners with me.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had a problem carrying those anywhere, especially stateside and even around the world. So
one of the things in my spycraft class I teach is having the paracord bracelet, taking it apart, and being able to get out of like zip ties or duct tape,
right.
and show you how people you can do that.
Use it like a saw. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And so there's many ways. And I actually have paracord that actually has a fire cord in there. Not sure I like the idea, but it was a gimmick. I bought it, and so there's one strand in there you can pull out that burns really good, and so it's like a, and it helps you start a fire. So you can pull all the way out, and so.
Yeah.
But so different. It's funny. Everyone travels. Everyone has a few things different in their EDC, but they're 90% the same.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all the same. So one of the things the most important things that I learned the other night, and guys, I almost killed Tenderfoot right here at my house last Monday night. He wanted to see I wanted to show him my backyard and what was back there. And so we go out the back door. This is like 10:30 or something.
That's right after.
We go out, and he goes, and to shut my back door, it takes some strength. It's just not one that goes click and shuts. He pulls that sucker and boom, and I'm like, oh, what did you do? He goes, I shut the door. I'm like, oh. And so, it's a new house. So my son I knew was upstairs on video games with a headset on. He's not going to be able to we're not going to be able to reach him. My wife is in bed. You don't wake my wife up when she's in bed. My daughter was in bed. I'm ringing the doorbell. We're trying again. I go to the garage, and it has that remote. And I knew the battery was dead because I just haven't got to that yet. I tried that. It didn't work. And then I'm like, well, let me call my son. I'm like, wait. My numbers are in my wallet, which are in my house, and I don't even know my son's number. So we're locked out. So we ended up looking on a database or somewhere and getting my son's name and his number, and we called him, and he came down and let us in. I was like, geez. So we've got precautions now, thanks to you.
There you go.
I got the garage door thing fixed. I fixed that the next morning. Yeah. But you got to have people's phone numbers. It's amazing how many people – do you know your mother's phone number?
I actually do know my mom.
Okay.
I know my wife's phone number.
Okay, okay.
But I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I had to learn it. My mom's number has not changed.
Oh.
So it's still the same number since I was.
Well, I know my wife's, and that's probably about it. Yeah. But I carry a list in my wallet. But if I don't have my wallet, it's not useful. So I'm going to actually put that in my tactical belt, the phone numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, tattoo. No, because then it would change.
Tattoo? I ain't going to get no stinking tattoo of people's phone numbers. Be like Sally. Oops, don't date her anymore.
I do temporary tattoos that last for weeks.
Okay.
Constantly put
that is hilarious. So you got to carry people's phone numbers, actual physical numbers. And you want your neighbors' numbers.
Yes.
Because in Florida, I noticed they had this guy on TV, and he said, oh, yeah, all my neighbors are calling me. And the neighbors are calling us because they knew he was at his house and stayed. They wanted to know how their house was doing. So I'm getting yelled at by G-Men in the studio. They're trying to get my attention. It looks like we're going to, these sponsors, all these sponsors, they want to do an advertisement. So, hey, guys, we're going to break right now, and we're going to come back after these advertisements, these sponsors, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Do you have the ultimate wood-burning collapsible survival and camping stove? Stop looking. The Under 6 Elite Survival Stove by SurvivalStoveworks.com can cook a meal in under 6 minutes with just a few twigs and sticks and without all the smoke and black soot. The Under 6 Elite weighs under 6 pounds and can be assembled in under 1 minute. This survival stove is made in the USA by patriots and preppers like you with high-quality steel. The Under 6 Elite Stove with all the extras is also easy to store and transport in its own carrying case. It's on sale now with free shipping. See it in action and get yours now at SurvivalStoveworks.com. That's survivalstoveworks.com.
When disaster strikes and your GPS is useless, ancient navigation techniques will ensure your survival. New from Ulysses Press, Prepper's Survival Navigation. With this guide, you can easily travel through even the farthest, remotest places, utilizing tips from the United States Army and lifelong wilderness experts. You'll learn life-saving navigation techniques. This definitive guide to terrain navigation also teaches you essential survival skills like firecraft, water procurement, and shelter making. Prepper's Survival Navigation is essential to have on hand during any outdoor adventure, including the weekend family outing. On sale now. Find Prepper's Survival Navigation on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Prepper Broadcasting, or wherever fine books are sold. Do not buy emergency food until you compare Legacy Food Storage. You already know you need an emergency food supply. Legacy wants to ensure that you get higher quality, longer shelf life, better tasting non-GMO freeze-dried food, and Legacy gives you up to double food for your money. There's a huge secret our competitors don't want you to know. Never compare food storage based on cost per serving, because serving sizes vary. Compare based on the weight of the food. Legacy gives up to double the food for your budget. Visit LegacyFoodStorage.com. That's LegacyFoodStorage.com. Use coupon code PREPPER to save 15% on your order.
Hey, we're back to the Prepping Academy. We've got Tenderfoot and myself here, and we're talking about traveling with your preps. And
Traveling with your peeps?
Dude, there needs to be an international sign for prepper. I've always thought about that. So you could put it on your back of your car, and no one else would know it except us. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Travis just freaked out. I wish y'all could have seen that. We're in the studio here in Weddington, North Carolina, and it's above a garage. And someone apparently just opened the garage at our studio. So it's an earthquake, man.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. So some of the things also is cash. Man, you've got to have cash.
Yeah.
I mean if you're traveling and you don't have cash and you're just doing credit, that's just bad. That's just bad.
Yeah. And you know that's planning ahead too is contacting your bank and stuff, letting them know that you're traveling, and that's for overseas. Mm-hmm. Well, no, even out of state.
Yep.
You do need to let them know certain things because for mine, my bank will freeze.
I know. If you go to, that's a good point. If you go to Canada, Mexico, whatever, you start using your debit card, they're thinking, uh-oh, and they'll shut you down.
Yeah.
And then you're screwed wherever you are until you contact them.
Yeah. And
they shut me down the other night. I bought something the other night, a generator, with the coupon, and I thought I had the best price possible, and it wasn't. I found one cheaper. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and cancel it. That was Home Depot. I'll just tell you, and I found one $400 cheaper.
Wow.
It was a generator.
Yeah.
And you think, how can you find something $400? Well, apparently this other company is trying to get rid of them because they don't want to sell them anymore. So I canceled Home Depot and bought it from another company, and boom. They put a freeze on it. Actually, because I used the same card. So I actually had to go to a different card to be able to purchase it.
Wow.
So, and I saw a light bulb go off your head as I was talking. You want to discuss that light bulb?
Oh, yeah. It's like, well, I was just thinking about, like, what else to carry. And now it feels like, well, sure, I'll bring it back. The train back over here. But no medicines. I was just thinking about
to sell and
contact. Yeah, sure. Well, no, you got to think, what can you take over with you? You know, your activated charcoal, stuff like that. But maybe, you know, if you want to get meds, your doctor can prescribe certain medications, take over with you. Haven't had a problem.
Right.
And that's overseas. Obviously, you're not going to have a problem in states.
So you're going to take your crack cocaine and just take it over there? No, not that. Okay. Wow. Okay. It's for health reasons. I need.
Yes,
for
different things that you may encounter.
Right. Like a multi-tool, they won't let you take one of them on a plane.
No, they won't. Man,
you wouldn't believe the stuff they won't let you take on a plane now. A knife. They don't even like batteries now, backups for phones.
No, they don't like batteries at all.
And so they're going to crack down. Some of them have already started cracking down. And that's stuff you need.
Yeah.
That is stuff you need. Hand sanitizer. They don't like hand sanitizer. It's flammable.
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't believe the stuff you can't carry on a plane these days.
Yeah, anything with alcohol in it. Some places, yes. When you're traveling overseas, no.
Right. And so, but, you know, and you can't carry a knife. So, okay, if I'm traveling and I'm flying in the United States and if I land, you know, usually I know people where I'm going, so I can say, hey, dude, I need a pocket knife. Just bring me one or something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can pack them. I guess you can pack them in your check-on bags. But who does check-on bags when you're flying stateside? I don't know. Not unless you're going on vacation.
I try to even carry on when I'm going overseas. I try to go light as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I have a solution to a lot of this. We'll talk about it in a minute. But you had something else you wrote down there. Did you want to bring that up?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Okay.
I was actually.
You weren't going to say. I thought you wrote down Forrest is a genius.
That he is.
Oh, you didn't. No. Oh, you didn't write that. Oh,
I didn't write
yeah. I can't read upside down writing.
No,
Sorry. But like a headlamp. Did you take a headlamp and a bandana?
I do take my bandana. And I had a light, but I didn't take a headlamp. It's just a flashlight.
Okay.
That I like, a particular flashlight, because I can turn it into a headlamp. So
okay.
Make that happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So see what else we have here on my list. Important documents. I have tried to beat this in people's heads. I have a thumb drive.
Yep.
It's kind of like this guy that does LifeLock, and he put his own social security number out there. He's like, go ahead and use it. Our system's so good, I don't care if you have my social. That guy. Well, this thumb drive, I put all my important documents on there. All my photos. It's 128 gigabyte. So I got photos. I've got like 30 gigs of photos on there, family photos. Actually, it might be a little bit more. I've got marriage certificate. I've got birth certificate, all photocopied and put on there.
Yeah.
No matter where I go. Now, it is encrypted, like you wouldn't believe encrypted. And so your average Joe or average criminal would never be able to crack this. So, and sometimes I'll just carry, if I'm going, I'll just put on my key ring and take it with me. I've got many of them, more than just one. And so I know the password. The password, I'll just tell you guys, is not a word. It's actually a phrase with numbers. One of the tricks I do, and hopefully, it's 72 letters long, actually, or characters long. But every time, I'll just give you an example. I don't do this, but one of the suggestions is every time there's an E, use the number 3, kind of thing. Oh, see?
Yeah. And
so people do that, and they have so mine's 72 characters long. And then once I get past that password, there's actually another password. So there's actually two passwords to get into my. So if I'm somewhere and I need a copy of my driver's license and I don't have it, I lost my wallet, I need my bank account numbers. Boom! I can go to any computer. I can actually boot up a computer with my thumb drive because I have TELS OS on there. Yeah. So it's my own operating system. So the computer is not going to steal my information as I'm trying to get my documents to show someone or print. So anyway, important documents you need to carry them with you. What do most people do when the house catches on fire? What do they want to go get? Their photos and important documents. What if you had it on your keychain and you go, well, looks like insurance is going to help me. I don't need to run back in there. So it could be life-saving. Yeah. So, but it takes years to get it to that point, though.
Well, it does. But a good way to start is when you're traveling, go ahead and start taking pictures of your license, your passport, because depending on what type of traveling you're doing, you lose that. At least you can go to that.
Right.
And it has been known. It's happened to people before. So you want to have that stuff. You want redundancy.
Yep.
To protect yourself wherever you may be. So
when me and my wife travel, we always take 2 different planes. No, I'm kidding. To keep one safe, I'm kidding.
That's like what they do.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
But another thing, I would even say, okay, you got your phone with you, right? You got a computer in your pocket. You want to get you a VPN.
Oh yeah.
And something there, so you're not being tracked or looked at other ways wherever you are, and to be able to do more, because there are some countries that are limiting what you can do.
Matter of fact, good story is we probably have a mutual friend, and he is a cyber genius. Countries hire him in a sense to break and to protect their everything. So anyway, he went on a mission trip to a particular country. I'm not going to say the country. And they left all their electronics in a room. And when they came back, he knew that they had been tampered with. And he cleaned them right there on the spot.
Wow.
Because he knew how to do that stuff. But yes, someone in the chat room mentioned the actual VPN that I use on all my devices. And it is called, I'll just spell it, Nord, N-O-R-D VPN. It cost me $70, $80 for 2 years. But that is the VPN I use. Someone just randomly put the actual VPN that I use.
I lost it.
It went up there, man. It's flying somewhere up there.
Man, the chat room is moving so quick.
But that is the actual VPN I use. And John Jacob Schmitz from Amron suggested that to me, and now I use that. N-O-R-D VPN. Oh, on the VPN, never ever use a free one. Don't do it.
All right.
Don't do it. And you want to go one that's credible, because if I was the CIA or NSA, I would create my own VPN to let people sign up and use it so I can still track them.
Yeah.
So, but there's a few that you just do your research, and but I use a VPN all the time.
Just Google it.
Yes, Google it. Just Google it. But also, now I don't have to worry about this, but a lot of people for their employer, they have a office phone or something like that. I mean, I'm just saying that you can. There's many reasons to have a VPN on your phone and laptop.
Yeah.
So I don't have one on my work one though. So next was so I want to talk about this. We got a few minutes left. There's an organization called Americans Network to Survive. Americans Network to Survive, and the acronym of that is ANTS. That is ANTS. And what they do, and they're going crazy right now because it's an interesting concept. Is you sign up and say, hey, I am a prepper, and I live in Charlotte, and this is where my drop-off point is. It might not be near your house, but it's like a secret location. And if a fellow ant, like right now we have fellow ants in Florida that need help. And so the organization happens where he kind of says, hey, all my food is gone. It was washed away. My house is gone. My guns are good. I just need some supplies and food. It goes through the ant network, and it kind of migrates by handing it off as it goes down closer to them. And people donate for free of charge, and it gets to the ant that's in trouble or in need. And that's a good option if you're traveling and the crap hits the fan or you can't get back home. If you're a member of that organization, now I don't know all the ins or outs. I've met the owner, the guy that's put it together. He's from our area, and he does go to prepper camp. But it's an incredible concept.
It is. That sounds great.
But there's some flaws to it as well. I may say, hey, I lost everything. Just bring me what you got and just get free stuff.
Yeah.
Or I could ambush who's bringing it and take what, I don't know. There's all kinds of flaws there, but I like the concept. And they've been working on it, and maybe there's a lot to it that I don't know, that to secure and make sure things are safe, but I don't know. I actually emailed him within the last 2 hours and said, hey, can you come on and be on the show and tell us about ants. And he had another commitment. He said he'd love to another time though.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I would love to.
yeah, he was at prepper camp. Like he's been, I think they're at prepper camp every year.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he just said that for us, just can't do it right now. Just busy. And the ants network is going nuts right now because a lot of ants are in need.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's a concept too. I mean, an idea to be a part of something like that, where if you're in California and you need preps, you can rely on other preppers.
Yeah.
It looks like you're dumbfounded on that.
No, I'm like.
You're like, wow, does that really exist?
No, I do know about it. I'm just waiting for just to hear where you.
There's a punchline.
Yeah.
And for $19.99 a month, you too can be known.
I mean, what is?
Oh, it is free, by the way.
It is free.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how do you join? That's what.
You join by just becoming a member. You don't share your actual location, but you do put a plot on a map. Like at my old house, my plot, my symbol was literally like 2 blocks from me, behind a rock in the woods that's easy to find. So I gave all the directions. If I ever needed a drop, or if I wanted someone to pick up what I'm donating, and I described it, and so that's only shared when there's an actual pickup or a drop. And then, so they don't know where I live because there's 120 houses around in that neighborhood. But then they would leave it or drop it or whatever, and that's how we would get it. And it's kind of a private place, and I would watch for them. If they dropped it, I'd go get in and get it.
Okay. Wow.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, and you leave little markers too, where if you're safe and all this kind of stuff. Okay. And they've been all checking in from Florida saying, I'm safe, I'm not safe, you know.
Now, is this worldwide?
It is. I do not know.
Okay.
I know that since I moved, I'm not on the map anymore.
Yeah.
Or any location, because my concern was there were enough spots around in my neighborhood that my mark wouldn't stand out and people go, oh, that's Garvin's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I live now, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, that if I put a mark there, people might know, oh, that's my mark. You know what I mean? So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Tim next time I talk to him how to manage that.
Okay.
I may have to put it further out away from me. You see, right now it's pretty cool. No one knows where I live.
Yeah. Except me.
Except you. And then you lock me out of my house. So,
oh, man.
Goodness. So, traveling, it takes some thought. And if you don't think through it, you could really be hurt by I'm pulling up Skype. This is how me and my producer talk back and forth while the show's going on. So that's why everybody was yelling in the chat room, because he usually sends it to me through Skype. So.
Oh, we didn't have that up.
I didn't have that up. That's why he must have put something in the chat room and people were going, hey. And so, anyway, what do you got planned for this? Oh, we got Prepper Camp coming up.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So usually you take your whole family, which is pretty cool, or at least a lot of family members.
Right, and that'll be the same this
year?
Yes.
Well, we're hoping to have a huge turnout with the Carolina Preppers Network, and I think it's going to be fun. I'm teaching 2 classes in the afternoon. It's always draining. My goal this year, I was telling another guy that is teaching a class, and he's been doing it longer than I have. And I said, how do you make it through a weekend? Sleeping, camping, teaching, and doing all this, extra things that other people aren't doing, and still have the energy to get through the weekend. And he's like, just hang with me. I think it's more about just relaxing and not caring. That's what he said. You just don't care. It's what's going to happen at this point is going to happen. So I'm going to try to relax more this time.
Should.
So, well, last time I did a radio show. I taught classes. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
are you doing any of that?
No. I'm going to do some interviews. I'm going to do some interviews.
Very good.
I'm going to do some interviews, but I found out Michael Klein, which is in the chat room. he now does Friday nights. He does an absolutely wonderful show.
All right.
He is a lot nerdier than I am, and I learn a lot from him. But he is in the he's always in the chat room.
I heard him on I never say it right. Zello.
Zello, yes.
Zello.
Yeah, he's
because
on Zello.
There's the other company that's
Zillow.
Zillow, yeah.
For houses. Yeah, we're not looking for houses.
No.
Well, we could be if the crap hits the fan. But yeah, so on Friday nights, Michael does a show at 9 o'clock, the same Prepper Broadcasting Network, and he's really good. But he's going to do some interviews down there as well. So, G-Man in the studio, is telling us we have less than 5 minutes.
Hey, and talking about Zello, don't forget about Signal. That's something that you can use while you travel too, and it's.
I use Signal all the time.
And it's encrypted. Yep.
And it's encrypted on your phone. It's both for all platforms. Have a site for ants. Someone wants a site for ants. I don't know the site, but I know it's AmericansNetworkToSurvive.org. That's the site. Well, look at this. I have the .org down here.
Yeah,
you see that? So it's not on the.
You were saying it, and then
yeah, because I was like, someone may ask that, and I have it in my show notes.
Well, that is a long
name. Yeah, AmericansNetworkToSurvive.org, because it really wasn't even on the same line. That's hilarious. So, but so traveling, I mean, you have things in your car.
Yes,
of course you do. We all do. We have, you know what? And we didn't want to talk too much about that because you can get that on every single prepper website on the internet.
Yes.
Things to have in your car for winter. Things to have in your car. I mean, the bug out, but I don't have my bug out bag. But I carry my EDC. That's all I really need. But I have extra things in my car. Tire puncher, sealant, the spray stuff. I have, all the things you would need if you got stranded in a car or somewhere else. I have extra food in my car.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just a lot of it is sometimes is trial and error, and we just wanted to bring up the things that you may not have thought of, the things that you that are key.
Yeah, especially I think the three things that are most important is knowledge and training.
Right.
You agree with that?
Yes.
You just got to have skills. And that skills are required. They're not.
That's why I included it in my acronym. Mm-hmm. It's just something I created an acronym to teach my son.
You created an acronym?
I did.
And people now are talking about it on the internet. Yeah. I need to come up with an acronym.
SWFT. So your shelter, water, food, and training. Your training is your skill. Under shelter, that's where I put protection, defense, and fire and all that.
My acronym is S.
Yeah.
For stupid.
Oh, man. So yeah. I mean, I've even got a picture that I do with that to teach my son. So he can learn. And so with shelter, I make an umbrella, and then underneath the umbrella, this is what's underneath that umbrella. So I'll do little different things like that. And I'll go camping with him right now, and he will tell you exactly what you need.
Yep. A lot of people don't. It's been try and remember the last time I went on a family camp out. Once they're teenage years, I don't know. It's tough.
Mine are still.
Yeah, you're still young. Hey, we only got a few seconds left. Hey guys, go to preppingacademy.com. Scott, whiskey, fireball, and tequila. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, go to preppingacademy.com. Subscribe to our mailing list, which I've to date sent out 2 mailings on my Prepping Academy website. So go sign up for my mailing list. We'll get that running. Look up the podcast, Prepping Academy. It's on iTunes. It's on all the different ones. Join us each week here live on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Don't get me laughing. I'm trying to close the show out, and you're reading the chat room. And join us each week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live, and there's a chat room at prepperbroadcasting.com. Make sure you hit Michael's live show on Friday nights, guys. We see you later.
Today's broadcast has come to you through the courtesy of the Prepper Broadcasting Network. See our hosts, show schedules, archived programs, and more at prepperbroadcasting.com. Thanks for listening.
Has your data been hacked? Do you feel uneasy about the vulnerability of your personal information online? Were you involved in the Target, LinkedIn, or Microsoft data leaks? Don't know? If not, then pay attention. Join Forrest Garvin from PrepperNet for a free webinar on privacy and security. Gain insights into safe internet browsing, VPNs, crafting online aliases, secure emails, detecting if your data has been hacked, and managing passwords. Secure your spot today for this webinar on privacy and security. It's free. This webinar delves into comprehensive strategies for bolstering your online privacy. We've got you covered, from fortifying your passwords to shielding your financial information and mastering state-of-the-art encryption techniques. We're offering 2 convenient dates to suit your schedule. Reserve your spot now at preppernet.com/privacy. Don't let cyber threats erode your peace of mind any longer. Take the first step toward a safer, more secure online experience by joining us for our free webinar. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to safeguarding your privacy. Sign up now at preppernet.com/privacy. We'll see you there.